Chapter 2. The two spider siblings easily escaped the players. Although players could indeed hop across leaf canopies at the top of trees, even though they couldn't actually climb up a tree trunk without a ladder attached to it, the spiders were much more adept at jumping between trees. In less than a minute, the two spiders were completely out of sight of the frustrated players. Once they were out of sight of the players, the two young spiders climbed down to the ground. Jane led Jake over a hill and then into a crack in the ground. On the other side of the crack was a large cave. The spiders knew their way through the cave. They sped through well-known passages. They headed toward their home alcove where their parents were waiting, only stopping once to say hello to a few zombie friends wandering near a lava stream. When they arrived home, they found their mother and father asleep. Their parents always slept during the day because they hunted at night. "Mom, Dad, Jake almost got killed by 2 players. Do you have to tell them that?" Jake said with a scowl, narrowing all 8 of his eyes to glare at his sister. Their parents snapped awake. Dad moved his mandibles up and down and shook his head. Mum gasped. "Jacob Reginald Arachnid, how many times have I told you to be careful where you go during the daytime? There are players everywhere. That's why we go out at night most of the time." "Oh, Mom, that's boring. It's fun to see the overworld during the day." "Mum, you listen to your mother," their dad said. "Remember how many brothers and sisters you used to have? They didn't listen to her." Mum closed her eyes and waited for their dad to come home. Jake's mother turned her head to the side and shook it. He knew she would be really sad if either he or his last remaining sister poofed, because they did something they'd been warned over and over not to do. "I'm sorry." Jane and I were playing hide and seek. I was getting upset that she had hidden so well. I dropped down to the ground to look for her, and I surprised a couple of players. "Oh!" Dad perked up. "Did they attack you?" Jake snorted. "Sure did. I'm still feeling a bit hostile about it." Dad got up from his nest and skittered over to his son. "And you survived?" "You survived being attacked by 2 players." Still, Jake shrugged 4 of his shoulders. "Yeah, I guess." "I helped him survive," Jane added. "Course you did, dear," their mum said. "My son, the survivor," Jake's father said, puffing out his tiny spider chest. "I'm sure the first of many escapes." "What about me?" Jane said. "I was too smart to be attacked. I've never even been hostile." "Oh, don't worry, honey. Someday you'll get to be hostile," Jake's father said. "For now, it's Jake's day. Let's have a celebration." "A celebration?" Jake said. "Oh." Jake's dad turned to his wife. "Do we have any of those fermented bee wings?" "Fermented bee wings," Jake said, starting to drool. "Ooh, I love fermented bee wings," Jane said, also starting to drool. Their mother smiled. "I do. I was saving them for our Notchmas feast in a couple of days, but this is more important. Come on, let's eat the entire jar."